So the first question from the floor is to Karen and then to Cam, as written here. What responsibility do you take in the Urbacon issue where we are required to pay $8 million to settle? So I will give the floor to Karen. You have 90 seconds.
A couple of months before we finally settled, I issued an apology to the community on behalf of the City Council and our administration. Even before we had terminated this project, it was going to cost more than we budgeted for. And so I think what's important is that we understand how we learn from that and how we change moving forward. And so we've changed subsequent contracts. We've changed the contract for this City Hall renovation that came in on time and almost $1 million under budget. We changed the contract, the way we did contracts for our organics facility. Again, on time and a couple of $1 million under budget. So any dollar that went into the settlement that didn't go directly into the building is absolutely a lost opportunity for our community, and I think we need to acknowledge that and do better as we move forward. I think it's also important to remember that in 2008, the builder had been on the project for 2 years, had missed 2 deadlines, and we still didn't have a completion deadline. So our risk was increasing financially and in business continuity, so something had to give. A decision was made. It got us to move past to get the building built. When we realized that we made an error, we moved quickly to fix that area and contain costs.
That's fine.
Well, I take no responsibility for it because I was not there. It happened under Mayor Karen Farbridge's watch. And she just ended her response with saying that something had to give. Well, I'll tell you what had to give. $8.4 million that the taxpayers had to give. So she said that a decision had to be made, and a judge said that you made the wrong decision, and it's cost the taxpayers $8.4 million. And that $8.4 million is supposed to go to community benefit. It could be going to some of the things that we're talking about in this room right now, such as transit, or for trails, or for the green space, or for other capital projects. But instead of it going to community benefit, it went to a construction company that under her watch, where the buck stops, it went to them instead. So I don't take any responsibility for it because I wasn't there. And the leadership here, it was a costly mistake. And under my watch, we're going to make sure that we do a very big post-mortem on this. It's interesting that Mayor Farbridge talks about, well, after that, we've done these other projects and everything's been, a lot better. But we've directed our CAO to do a bigger post-mortem already, and that's ongoing right now. So what is it? Apparently we already have a post-mortem done on this, and we already have everything in place. Then why are we directing our CAO to look at more things for future capital projects to try to protect the taxpayers? It's very unfortunate.
Our CAO has committed to do a deep risk analysis of it. I think we owe that to our community to understand if there's any further learnings. But we're not going to wait several years to do that. So we took the learnings that we could immediately to make the change. There's no question about it that this is an impact on us as a community, and those dollars are lost. But as I said, it was a crisis that we were in, and we moved quickly to try to rectify it.
For the next question, it is for all candidates. With the arts being an integral part of the Guelph community, what will you do to support the arts?
I don't see any need to take away from the arts. I'll be honest, this question is a little bit unknown to me in the sense that for myself, I do commute to Mississauga. I work there. What I have realized in the last couple of months is that, unfortunately, I'm not a part of the integral community that Guelph is. I've met people in the last couple of months that are an integral part of our community, and to be honest, I'm quite sad because I don't get to enjoy a lot of what the city does offer. By the time I get home and with the dinner and family and routine of going, putting kids to bed, it's lucky if I get up with my wife to go to one of the things in the city. But I do, honestly, myself, I do support the arts. I have no problem. I hope that answers the question.
bit of an artist. If you check out my campaign writing, the envelope there, they're extensions of my writing artwork as part of my personal pursuits. So I have a certain amount of love for the artistic community, and I believe that the way a government should support the artistic community is by granting access to the resources the city has. So things like, having a street shut down for the Arts in the Street Festival or the Graffiti Festival or whatever other festivals they have. We have a lot of them here, and it's a good thing. I'm all for that. Rec centers, any public property that we can give at a reduced or, if possible, zero rate, so that the artistic community, of course, I'm in support of that. So, again, I don't come with a specific plan for the artistic community, because my more specific plan may or may not be touched upon here. But I do generally consider art to be one of the most important parts of the human experience. Like, it feeds the soul. So, a city with as much soul as well, but unfortunately, your soul is taking a beating in terms of our ability to engage in democracy. But the artistic community is still strong. And there's no reason that we can't support it by opening up as many spaces as we can to them. As far as donating money to them, that's something to consider, depending on the request. I don't believe that artists should be making their money off the government. Artists should be out there making their money just like everybody else. Go out there, do your art, pursue it. I think starving artists has always been kind of the most admirable and successful artists, but the city should provide what it has to do, which is all kinds of infrastructure to support the artists.
I would do things very much differently from how Mayor Firebridge has done them in terms of promoting the arts. I think that she's done an exceptional job. My concern is with sort of incidental things like access. So again, improving transit and improving accessibility for people with special needs and mobility issues and so on. But apart from that, the new configuration of the street on Carden for the Jazz Festival, fantastic, and other events, access to the park, Riverside, and so on for music and Ribfest and things like that. It's all very, very good. Hillside, we have a lot to be proud of in terms of the arts and the art scene in Guelph.
I think one of the things that Guelph does really well is promote its arts in the city. There's so many different types of festivals, markets, and just different things going on every weekend that the citizens of Guelph, they have it here on the university, they have it all around town, people can go out and participate in. I mean, I read an article last year that said that Guelph was ranked the 5th in the top 5 music cities in all of Canada. For a town of 130,000 people, that's a huge honor for us to have, and I want to continue doing that. I'm going to side with Mr. St. Leader and say, myself being a writer, I don't think that our artists should live off government money. I think there is something very romantic about this term, being an artist, although no one wants to give one. So let's continue advertising these programs and these festivals to the city and make sure that these are things like the MSAC, the Art Center, are advertised to people and go and visit them and enjoy them and really experience the culture that Guelph has to offer.
We have an exceptional arts and culture community, and they really deserve the credit for why Guelph is such a great place for arts and culture. It's so much a part of our identity, they create our identity, and they also have a significant economic impact as well in terms of in terms of jobs, tourism, and have a big impact on our community in that way. So our approach has been not to control or to dictate. Our approach has been to facilitate, to enable. So examples would be creating a cultural map, which identifies all the cultural events and organizations on a map to help get the word out of what's in Guelph. Another example is providing young people an opportunity, young bands in Guelph, emerging bands, to have an opportunity to play on the River Road stage and to work with sound professionals and stage professionals. So they get their first gig and they get to be able to do more. The only thing that we're not doing well enough, it's very difficult to organize an event in Guelph, especially in the downtown. Way too many people you need to go to. So I would like to see us have a centralized way, one-stop shopping, where people can come and organize events. That will make it easier for the arts and cults community.
Well, I love the arts. Big time. I've been a professional drummer for 26 years now. So I'm several bands. I can talk to you about those after over there. But I love the art scene in Guelph. I'm a big proponent of it, and I'm a part of it. I love I love the Jazz Festival. I love Game Music Festival that's been happening and exploding over the last few years in the downtown core. We do need to open up not only the downtown, but we have other assets within the community that we need to explore and look at to open up for not only local artists, but for those coming through the city as well. I'm thinking of places like the River Run Center that sometimes are just way too expensive for some of these acts to be able to have access to. What about the Sleeman Center as well? That's closed for multiple months doing nothing. We need to look at some of the untapped assets that we already have and open them up possibly to some arts and culture. One of the things that I was really proud of to bring forward as a city councilor over the past 4 years was I was sick and tired of listening to a Take O Canada version at the beginning of our council meetings. So I proposed that we welcome some of the artists inside our own community to come and actually play instrument-wise or sing O Canada at the start of our council meetings to bring culture right into City Hall. I'm really proud of that, and as your mayor, you can bet that I will be promoting the arts and culture in the city.